All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the NALC Branch 458 podcast. I'm getting to the September newsletter. I know we're already well over a week into September, but it's been a busy month, so I'm getting into reading the September newsletter. On the front cover, you'll see the delegates that we sent to the national convention. I won't repeat the names. We mentioned who the delegates were in a previous episode when we discussed that. So there's a few photos as you flip through here of the delegates during the national convention, and you can peruse those. It's pages 2, 3, and it does not go to 4. So we'll start reading on page 4. MBA report. Last week at the National Convention, I attended two classes directed towards MBA reps, and now I would like to pass on a little information to you. One particular plan I would like to inform you about is the MBA's individual disability income. Before I go much further, this article was written by Chris Prieto. This is one plan I wish I had known about before July, when I was involved in a crash and injured both of my arms, incapacitating me for 6 weeks. Luckily, I had plenty of sick leave to rely on. Yes, it is beneficial to bank your sick leave. Well, with this total disability plan from the MBA, there are two plans with 3 tiers each to consider. They are paid biweekly. So, what is total disability? It's defined as due to injury or sickness, you cannot perform the substantial and material duties of your occupation, you're under a physician's care, and you are not engaged in any other gainful job or occupation for wage or profit. It also means the total and irrevocable loss of your speech, hearing in both ears, sight in both eyes, use of both arms, use of both legs, or the use of one arm and one leg. The two plans are either 6 months or 12 months of coverage. Each plan has 3 tiers: $650, $1,350, or $2,000 a month of coverage. Let's just say I had the 6 months coverage and the higher tier, which would net me $2,000 a month. I would be paying $24 a pay period since I'm middle aged. So after the initial 2 weeks, I would begin to receive $2,000 a month for 6 months or until I got better, which I could use to compound onto my sick leave. So I could be raking in the dough. But for some of the carriers who do not have the bank of sick leave that I have, this plan could be a huge load of stress off your back if you were to get hurt. Let's just say you're 30 and decide in the middle tier would be the best for you. That would be $15.25 a pay period. And for up to 6 months, you'd get $1,350 each month. Now that's some peace of mind, I tell you. $21.50 a pay period would cover you for a whole year. Okay, Chris, so how does it work? Your disability income benefits start 14 days after your disability begins, the elimination period. Payments continue for as long as you're disabled, up to 6 or 12 months, depending on which benefit period you selected for your plan. You can even renew your policy up to age 65 by paying your premiums on the renewal date. MBA individual disability income is available to active NALC members between the ages of 18 and 59. Spouses and family members are not eligible. So if you're interested in this or another plan, or just have questions you need answers to, call or text me at 405-820-6368 or email me at PRIETO NALC branch458.com. That's Prieto at NALC branch458.com. 5. Letter carrier perfect. Walking pace. There is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standards for walking. MRS M00304 and M00360. Lawn crossings. It is management's position that letter carriers are expected to take available shortcuts if the customers do not object and there are no particular hazards to the carrier. Notwithstanding, blanket instructions to all carriers to cross all lawns would not be considered proper. If customers write notes to say off lawn, Place in the edit book to cover yourself. MRS M00275. And I'll just add right there, if you have any special instructions at all for your route, you should indicate those on your 1564B. And that's inside of your route book, that black binder that's usually kept at the center of your 124 case with the ledge. You pull that book out, flip to your 1564B, and that's where you will write down all of your special route instructions. So if a customer says, please don't walk across my lawn, that's where you would put that. You do the address, what the special instruction is. If somebody wants their mail delivered to their side door, where they have two mailboxes, and you need to specify which mailbox it is. All special instructions need to go in your 1564B. I would also put in there copies of any dog letters that you have had signed. If anyone is terminated receiving mail, I would put your dog letters in your 1564B in your route book. So getting back to page 5. Chemically treated lawns. The position of the USPS is that where a lawn has been chemically treated and a sign has been posted to that effect, the letter carrier would not be required to cross that lawn during the period of potential hazard remained in effect. MRS 00160. Carrier satchel. Carriers must use a satchel when delivering mail on foot, other than authorized dismount deliveries. Carriers using the double satchel may wear it as a single or double pouch, with or without the shoulder straps and waist belts, accordingly to the needs of the carrier and the route. M39 125.41. Flat mail on arm. It is not a requirement for carriers on a foot route to carry flats on their arm. While delivering mail, carriers may opt to carry flats on their arm. MRS M00039. Flat mail in satchel. Flat mail is normally withdrawn from a satchel. Peel off the letters and circulars for the first house from DPS bundles, carry in hand, and the flat mail from bundles standing on end in the satchel. Case spurs during office duties. MRS M00504. Section 321.5 of the M41 gives letter carriers the right and obligation to finger each and every piece of DPS. MRS M00504. Fourth bundle. Carriers on park and loop routes in DPS environments are not required to carry a fourth bundle of mail. M41 322.23. And just to add there, a fourth bundle, that is typically something that, if you don't know what a fourth bundle is, if you're carrying Argos or Red Plums or buyer's guides, whatever you call them, in your station, in your area, and then you also have another full coverage set. So you have a grocery store that's sending out a full coverage, or a window supplier, or political mail that's going to every door. Management cannot require park and loop routes to carry that many bundles. We just don't have that many hands. So on park and loop routes, you are not required to carry fourth bundles. Pre-sequenced address mailings. If pre-sequenced address mailings are labeled with ECRWSH or ECRLOT, they are not met. They do not meet the criteria for a third bundle and must be cased. M01861. Certified mail. Certified mail mixed in with the DPS mail and identified while performing street duties is to be handled in the same manner as certified mail that is issued in the office by the accountable clerk. Customers must sign for this mail piece. Use a PS 3849 for a legible signature. M41 335.16. Collecting mail. Accepting letters handed to you by customers for mailing, provided postage is affixed. Go to the porch or door to receive this mail from the customer. M41 132.11. Motorized carriers. Collect from curbside boxes if the signal flag is raised, even if there's no mail for delivery to that box. M41 132 15. Businesses. Collect mail from all businesses. Standard training for city carriers, day 3, slide 73. Crosswalks. Use crosswalks when crossing busy streets and follow traffic signals or the direction of traffic control personnel. M41 133.3. And just to add to that one, that is a safety concern. So you don't want to just be running across busy streets, really any streets, neighborhood streets. That's not really what I'm talking about. If it's a 2-lane, 4-lane road, and there are crosswalks, those crosswalks are there for a reason. They're there for your protection. If you're being followed, if you have a route examination, if there's a 3999 and management instructs you to not use a crosswalk, that is a safety concern. Notify your steward so that we can deal with that per method, but always use the crosswalks. Observe laws. Observe all traffic regulations prescribed by law. Rules applying to the public also apply to operators of postal vehicles. Refrain from parking in fire lanes. Use parking spaces if available. M41 812.2. And just to add to that one, if there is a pull through parking spot where you can park and you're facing forward in your parking spot, always do that. If you go into a gas station, always park at a pump because you never have to worry about backing into a space. You never have to worry about pulling back out of a space. You should never pull forward into a space ever. That's against our training. Uh, you should always back into a space, but try to avoid that at all costs. So pull into a gas pump, pull through parking spaces. It'll make your life a lot easier. Hampers. Safety, canvas or plastic. For maximum visibility when transporting a load, do not stack mail higher than the top of the hamper. Handbook PO 502 4-3.1.5. Hamper safety, canvas or plastic. When moving them manually, never pull them, rather push from either end to avoid potential injuries. Handbook PO 502 4-3.1.4. Sorting mail on the street. Do not finger mail when driving or when walking up or down steps or curbs. When crossing streets or at any time, it would create a safety hazard to carriers or to the public. M41 133.2. Sorting while driving. Do not finger mail when driving or hold mail in your hand while the vehicle is in motion. You must use mirrors to check for pedestrians ahead, in back, and on both sides before placing the vehicle in motion. M41 812.4. And you guys can tear this out of the newsletter and keep it for a quick reference guide in your cases. Page 6. M39 Section 271G. What is a 271G and what can it do for me? Have you ever wanted an 8-hour route? If you're constantly turning in a 3996 or asking for help on your route, you may qualify for a special route inspection. Some carriers find these troublesome or don't feel that they're fair or accurate, so they would rather carry routes out of adjustment. If your route is out of adjustment and it is over 8 hours, please consider requesting a special route inspection. Benefits of requesting a special route inspection vastly outweigh the downside. First, let me explain how you qualify. Your route must exceed 30 minutes for 3 days a week for 6 consecutive weeks. That's it. Just to be clear, it must be 31 minutes or more. In the printed version of this, you'll see that I wrote this article. I wrote that your route must exceed 30 minutes or more for 3 days a week. That is a mistake. It is not 30 minutes or more. It's more than 30 minutes. So that's why I clarify. Just to be clear, it is 31 minutes or more. So 31 minutes or more for 3 days a week for 6 consecutive weeks. That's it. If you're going over on your route or getting assistance, you should submit a 3996 anytime either of those scenarios happen. If you're not submitting a 3996, immediately start doing so and request copies once they have been adjudicated. Retaining these copies of your 3996 will help you keep track of how many days each week you have either received help or were approved to carry the overtime on your own route. Once you reach 6 weeks, any 6 weeks, it's time to submit your request. Although it is hard to have a member of management follow you on the street for a few days during your inspection week, after it's all said and done, you should have an 8-hour assignment, and there isn't a regular need to request overtime or auxiliary assistance or argue with management about why you need the overtime or auxiliary assistance. That should be all the incentive anyone needs to request for a special inspection. All any of us want is to come in and complete our work without the struggles of management causes. If management does not provide a fair inspection, we are well within our rights to file a grievance and get it corrected. Without requesting the inspection at all, there's no chance you will have a fairly adjusted 8-hour route, and there cannot be a grievance initiated on your behalf. There is a request form for a special route inspection printed in this newsletter for you to use. Simply fill in the blanks and have management sign that they have received it. Make a copy for your records and a copy for your steward. The copy for your steward is so that they can monitor if time limits are being kept during the process. I hope to see you all next branch meeting on the second Thursday of each month. Page 7 is a copy of that request form that I just talked about. You just fill in the dates. You can rip it out of this newsletter. There's nothing on the back that management is going to use against us. So you can rip it out of this newsletter and they can make a copy of it and it will be your request for the 271G. All right, page 8, NGDV. That stands for the Next Generation Delivery Vehicle. Powertrains, ICE, Ford EcoBoost 2.0L, Turbo Boost 4-cylinder engine, BEV, Bosch e-axle electric motor and transmission, 94 kilowatt hour battery. And the features of the NGDV, it's got a porch light. That's the light that is directly above the door that the driver is sitting at where you deliver out of. It helps you to see when you're delivering in the dark and you're servicing curbside boxes. Keyless entry with a fob, push button start, transmission lock when seatbelt is not engaged, automatic front and rear parking. When vehicle is off, shifted into park, or when driver leaves the seat. Will only start in park or neutral. No rear step. Discourages carriers from working out of the back of the vehicle on the street. And that's something we noticed when we were in Boston is the back bumper is just real thin plastic. There's no grit tape on it. There's no handrails to pull yourself up or to help you step down from the back. It actually has a sticker on there that says do not use as a step. So it really discourages you, and you should not use the back of the NGDV to work out of. Blind spot warning system, forward collision warning, cup holders in the cab area, coat and satchel hooks, intermittent wipers, MVD docking station, active ventilation in the cargo area, street side exhaust, air conditioning, backup camera, 360-degree camera, front and rear bumper sensors, audio and visual, automatic parking brake, driver's side airbag, curbside cargo door. And I did say air conditioning. Production. Production of the NGDV began in early 2024. Production model used during the first article test is on display at the convention. The first vehicles were delivered to Athens, Georgia Sorting and Delivery Center on May 31st, 2024. The first BEV will be delivered in August 2024. The first AWD ICE will be delivered in November of 2024. Page 9. In Memorandum. J. H. Parks, September 22nd, 1943, March 7th, 2022. Jay was born in Clayton, Oklahoma on September 22nd, 1943. He grew up in Antlers, Oklahoma. He graduated high school in Antlers in 1963 and enlisted in the U.S. Army shortly thereafter. He was stationed in Germany during the Vietnam War. During his time in the service, he married Evelyn Walkup, and they had two sons, Preston and Clifton. After the military, his family resided in Midwest City for 2 years when he worked at the Tinker Air Force Base. Jay joined the United States Postal Service as a mail carrier and served for 29 years. He used to say that he didn't get wet on rainy days delivering the mail, he just learned how to walk between the raindrops. Brother Parks retired from Village Branch in 1998. John Lewis Daniels, April 25th, 1937 to June 19th, 2022. John Lewis Daniels, 85, longtime McLeod, Oklahoma resident, passed from his life on Sunday, June 19th, 2022, in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. John was born April 25th, 1937, in Amarillo, Texas. The parents Lucille Cargill Daniels and Frank J. Daniels. John married Leella Daniels on May 29th, 1962, and they recently celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. John started working at the age of 12 to help his mother support their family. His strong work ethic led him to be employed at the United States Postal Service. Brother Daniels retired from Midwest City Branch in 2000. Hubert Hightower, January 27th, 1925, August 11th, 2024. Hubert Allen Hightower was born January 27th, 1925, to Walter and Mary Hightower on the family farm outside of Lexington, Oklahoma. He was the fifth of six children with brother Wallace and Bill and sister Ellen, Hazel, and Catherine. He and his family survived the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression working on the farm. He served honorably from 1943 to 46. He was assigned to the minesweeper USS Broadbill, clearing the way for the Great D-Day invasion. Hubert and his brothers all came home to a hero's welcome. He became a letter carrier with the Postal Service in 1957. Hubert would deliver mail for 32 years. His life took its most happy turn when he heard Janie Lamarand, sorry if I mispronounced that, had also moved to town. After a short and made for each other courtship, they were married September 10th, 1949. They would celebrate over 70 years of marriage, welcoming six children and eventually spouses into a very happy family circle. Susan Burke, Larry, Patty Franks, Bob, Alan Hightower, Lori, Diane Hightower, Stephanie Hightower, Nora Hokma, and Greg Hightower, Karen. Brother Hightower retired from Center City in 1988. And there are links on all three of those. I know you can't click them in the paper version, but if you go online to nalcbranch458.com, there will be an electronic version. There's an electronic version on our Facebook page, and you should be able to copy and paste those links or maybe even click them to go to their obituaries. Brother John Turcotte's father, John, passed away August 4th, 2024. Brother Turcotte works at Southeast Station. Brother Cotton Edwards' wife, Nina, passed away August 3rd, 2024. Brother Edwards retired from Northwest Station in 1992. Page 10. Scholarship News. Thanks to the following Branch 458 members who donated to the Branch 458 Memorial Scholarship Fund: Matt Tanner, Bill Miller, Bob Bearden, Steve Riggs, Eric Bew, Ken Mayfield, and Chris Prieto. 100% of all donations to the scholarship fund are used for the cost of scholarships for winners chosen annually by the Branch 458 Memorial Scholarship Committee. Applications are available for graduating seniors, children and grandchildren of members towards the end of calendar year and are generally due by March 31st of each year. To date, Branch 458 has provided scholarships to more than 25 students that are children of members. Retiree news. Welcome to the Last Punch Brunch. Byron Carr, Oklahoma Installation. Roger Hoyt, Center City Station. Larry Dockery, Westside Annex. Cynthia Taffy, MLK Station. Mike Thorson, Westside Annex. Victor Vale, Britain Station. Membership report. Kevin Brooks, Edmond, Maine. Hallie Calvin, Elk City. Brandon Davis, Ardmore. Aaron Little, Maine. Dwayne McCall, Maine. Chad Satterwhite, Centennial. Garrett Teeter, Oklahoma City, Southwest. Casey Wagner, Spencer. James White, Marietta. Mary Young Humphrey. Welcome back, War Acres Branch. Welcome to Branch 458. On the back cover of the newsletter, you'll see the officers that were present for the last branch meeting. Everybody was present with the exception of the financial secretary, myself, and the member benefits director. And then on the right side, you'll see the table of contents so you can easily find an article you'd like to read within this newsletter, and then it talks about upcoming events. Um, as always, our stewards trainings are the first Thursday of every month. They begin at 6:30 p.m. Our next one is Thursday, October 3rd. And then branch meetings, they begin at 7:30. They're always the second Thursday of every month. Our next one is this Thursday, September 12th, and then the next one is October 10th, and those are Thursday at 7:30. One other event that is coming up, and I hope to see everybody there, is the route adjustment training that we are doing on Wednesday, September 11th, and that begins at 6 o'clock. So I hope to see you guys there. It'll be a lot to learn. You guys can ask questions. The next station in Oklahoma City that is going to be doing the route adjustments is Britain Station, but it is open to all members to come. I hope to see everybody there. I hope it's a full house and we got to find seats for everybody. Um, you can ask questions, get prepared because it might be coming to your station next. All right, and until next time, I hope everybody stays safe and I'll see you around.